I'm going to be talking about something that you interested in. Oh my goodness, the books in heaven. No matter what, they're writing something down in it about you. That's right, about you. Let's find out what God is writing, okay? Very, very important. He's keeping good records. All right, there we go. If you're joining me on the YouTube channel, be sure and hit the subscribe button and tell people that you like the ministry road. I have to date about 60 sermons posted. This is sermon number 360, and I'm going to be talking to you for the next couple of moments right here on the books in heaven. Huh? What's that all about? The books in heaven? That's right. I'm going to talk to you about that. If my sound is up, I'm going to do a little sound check just real quick here. Do a little quick sound check if you don't mind. Good morning, Miss Pam. I see you just now jumped on board here. Yes, indeed. All right. On the books in heaven. Huh. What's that all about? The books in heaven? All right, we're good. I like it. I like it, man. I like the way it sounds. Come on now. I might sing a song now. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Hey, listen. All right, let's get started. So many people, if you're like me, not too many people are really like Mr. C, okay? But if some of you are, I ran across another fella. He was kind of crazy, too. He got saved and everything. Good friend of mine. He like me, too. He's the only one might be like me. But listen, so many times I look at you on Facebook and I read these posts, you know what I mean? All right, I read these posts. They'll go down with my hands, okay? That's a little joke, okay? That means I'm getting ready to really get on somebody when I do. She said, when Mr. C does that, he getting ready to blast us, man. I'm telling you right now. When he rubs them hands together, he getting ready to preach. So look, I know I look on your Facebook post, and so many times I see you say, hey, man, if you were my friend, I want you to post and share this. I want to see if you read all the way down to here, well, then maybe you love me, okay? Everybody wants attention. I know you want attention. So many people want to know, they want to know if you're paying attention to them. I do. Listen, I remember when I was in school, man, my teacher something was wrong with her, because she always wanted attention, because she would tell me, hey, Charlie, will you pay attention, please? Will you please pay attention? She used to say that. I'd go home and tell my mama, something wrong with that teacher, man. She got an ego problem or something like that. Always wanting us to pay attention to her. Okay, who would think she is, huh? Boy, my mama, she would shake my head. She would say, you know what? Why didn't God bless somebody else with you instead of me? I said, because you won the lucky prize. All right, hey, listen here. We live in a day and age right now. No kidding, people. No kidding. We live in a day and age of information. I am talking to you right now about 5 books that are being recorded and that are being written in, and guess who the subject matter is? Yours truly. You. They're writing you about you. You got a chapter in that book that's dedicated just to you. How you like that? That's what I'm going to talk to you about right now. You didn't think nobody was paying attention to you? I got news for you. They paying so much attention to you in heaven, it's going to scare you. And you're going to be saying, oh, man, that's like, that's invasion of privacy. I hear y'all talking all the time about invasion of privacy. Oh, that Facebook, man, you walk down the aisle in the store, they know what aisle you're on, they know where you're at, they track you. I get all these ads. You type in anything at all, and you get all kind of ads on your Facebook, in your news feed, in your email. Your phone call will ring. Hello, Mr. I got a phone call one time that said, hello, sir. And look, when they say like, hello, sir, I know it's a sales pitch or something, because my friends, they be like, hey, knucklehead. So I know, man. And Lord, like, they say, hey, we understand, sir, that you want to further your education. I said, further my education? I got news for you. I'm 60-something years old. I want to start forgetting about half of the stuff I learned already because it aggravates me when I think about it, okay? Want to further my education. And I filled out something inquiring about a job. Oh, yeah, that's what it was. Oh, yeah, let me see it. And I get something, a phone call about wanting to further my education. Man, I was wanting to further my paycheck and what I was wanting to do. And the reason being because I got word through the grapevine. Grapevine's the best source of information, okay? That the boss, he didn't like me anymore. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'll fix him. I'll walk in his office and I'll say, hey, guess what, brother? Guess what? Take this shove and job it. That's what I'm talking about. All right, Mr. C, you better start preaching. You're going to lose all your people real quick. All right, we live in an age of information, all right? Social media, Google search, man. Your cell phone, look, even your cell phone reveals where you at, the speed that you're going, and it's a good service, but it reveals where you at in traffic. NFL statistics, oh my Lord, NFL statistics. They know everything. The age of information. They know everything about everybody. Talking about the books in heaven, we're going to find out what they know about you. What do they know about me? What do they care? NFL statistics, oh my Lord, who does all this? Man, y'all, what's that, the fantasy football? Oh, yes indeed, man, fantasy football, man. I never could play football, so I would do fantasy, I do the fantasy football, act like I'm playing the football. I was, man, for, some people, never mind, that's a joke. But anyway, got the longest field goal. They know what the longest field goal is. The most touchdown passes, man. Most rushing yards. Most tackles, single and assisted. Man, then they got the first at everything, okay? The first at everything. The first woman to see the moon. First woman that got pregnant under the moon. The first kiss that she received under the light of the moon. The first picture taken under the light of the moon. Now they got the first woman going to the moon. Everything is a first time thing. First guy that was wearing a black tie that preached on a Sunday morning at 10:01 after daylight saving time. First guy that preached with a red tie. Oh man, they keep records of everything on this earth. So what am I getting at? If we take that kind of records, what do you think kind of records God takes, huh? What does God know about you if Google knows everything, huh? Yeah, yes indeed. Look, how much you think how much do you think that God knows about you? If, let's talk about that. If we know so much about each other, what does God know? And how much could he know? And if he does know, then what does he care about it? And why is he keeping such a record about me? Why God so interested about me? You the one that calls all the time, say, hey, nobody loves me. Oh, there ain't nobody cares, man. Oh, you know what? None of y'all even I don't even have that many friends on Facebook. Man, y'all don't care about me. Y'all don't ever, yada, yada, yes, and yeah, and You know what I'm talking about. Sound like a broken record. And I give it to me. I'd be like the one that would like to break it, okay? Come on, Mr. C, you being mean, man. You come on now. So what's the purpose? What is the purpose for all these records? Records are for rewards and punishment. Think about that now. When somebody keeps a record of you at work, at school, no matter what it is, if there's a record about you, man, I remember I moved to Alabama, came back about 6 to 10 years later, went to redo my driver's license, and they're like, oh yeah, that ticket you didn't pay back in 1901? Man, we didn't even have cars in 1901. Yeah, well, you got a ticket anyway, all right? Pay it. Man, they didn't forget a thing, man, not a thing. State of Louisiana, let me tell you what, they got a memory. Records. We're going to talk about them 5 books just a second, okay? I'm getting to it. Records are rewards and punishment. So if God's keeping a record of your life, I don't want you to think that it's anything different than that. It's for rewards and punishment. Rewards for advancement, records for advancement, or records for denial. So what records does God keep about you? All right, let me explain something to you that's going to literally blow your mind, okay? It is going to just intrigue you. How can God get that much information about you? God can't get that much information about you. All you people that believe in science, let me tell you how God can do it, okay? It's going to be real simple. All right. Your brain is an amazing recorder. You think that your computer is something else? Oh, you think that, man, what it can do, these robots? Your brain, God lets you do all the record keeping. How you like that, huh? See, God's smart. That's why he's God, man. He was there first. You upload every minute, every second of your life is uploaded every minute in your brain. It records everything. Oh, come on. I'm going to prove it to you right now, okay? Do y'all guys remember there was a fella, there's many of them like this, but it goes to show you how much your brain can record. How is God going to keep a record of us? All he has to do is plug in to your mind. All right? There's a story about a fella named Kim Peek. Kim Peek. Who was Kim Peek? Kim Peek was the story about the Rain Man. Remember the Rain Man? Y'all seen that story? Yeah, it was a very cool story. But it was absolutely based on a very true story about Kim Peek. I'm talking about the books in heaven, all right? Keep you on track. And what does God know about you? And how can he know it? And how much does he know? And hey, man, hey, we need to do like old Hillary Clinton, okay? You're not going to do that. Hurry up, man. Come on. Erase the memory. Come on. Crash the computers. Come on. Burn. It ain't going to work that way, man, because your mind uploads it to heaven every second. That's right. You don't know what he's talking about. Oh, yes, I do. You're not going to, it ain't going to be a matter of God getting up there and God saying, hey, man, where are them 30,000 emails you destroyed, Mr. C? Huh? You know the ones where you was ugly to somebody, or you didn't put that 10 cents in the church basket when it passed by, or, you know, you didn't do this and you didn't do that, and what about that time you talked evil about this person and it was a lie? What about that time you cut that person off and try? Where them emails at, Mr. C? It ain't going to be like that, brother. It says every jot and everything is written down in one of them books. Let me move on here. Kim Peek was the Rain Man. Amazing. Think about your mind right now, okay? Kim Peek could read every page of a book separately with each eye. He would open up a book, and both of the face pages, he would read them at the same time. And he could finish a 500-page novel in an hour, and he could recite it back, every word and every line. He could tell you where every comma was on every line. He could recall every day of his life since he was born. He could tell you the smell in the air on any given day, what time the train passed by outside on the tracks. He could tell you what the conductor was wearing. He could tell you how many times they blew the train whistle, where it started at, and when he stopped the fourth or the fifth whistle, what time the temperature was. He could tell you how fast the train was going. He could tell you the smell in the air. He could tell you what direction the wind was coming from. He could tell you what the conversation was of everybody in the room 40 years later. He could tell you what the temperature was, how long it rained. He could tell you at what time the cat ran across the street. Yeah, he could. Absolute fact. It's one of those rare conditions where a certain part of somebody's brain allowed him to recall that, but it's there. Oh, you're getting you a little worried now, huh? Hold on here. Wait a minute. Huh. That might get you to thinking about something, because you see, here is something that Christians do, which is a big mistake. We think, now we like to hang our hat on different scriptures. I'm getting to these books in a minute now, okay? There's 5 of them. Talks about different things, and each one has a purpose, okay? Write something about your life. We'll get to it in about another minute or so, maybe, all right? But what I want you to understand is, I don't want you to doubt what I'm saying. That even scientifically, I guess that would be scientifically, all God has to do is tap into your mind, and he knows everything. When you pray to God, God hears you immediately. And I told you about how that works in my sermons on the secrets of heaven, how it is that thought travels so fast. Told to you about that. That's another sermon, and it's a good one. Yes, it is. God keeps records. God keeps records. And he talks about 5 books that he keeps these records. Are you with me so far, huh? Miss Melanie, I'm just kind of reading down here. The same way. I don't remember anything. I can't bring it to my mind, but it's in there, is what I'm trying to say. You know, you'll forget something sometime. I do this in my sermon. I'll go to say something, I'll forget what it was I wanted to tell you, and it's still in there. It ain't gone. It's not gone. It's just that I don't know how to recall it. But with the Rain Man, he was able to recall it all, is what I'm trying to tell you. All right, good. Y'all following me so far? Y'all believe me? I'm telling the truth? Okay. All right. Got y'all with me so far? All right. So listen. All I'm trying to tell you right now is get you to understand right now that everything is recorded. Everything absolutely is recorded. Rain Man did it. Kim Peeks did it, and I explained that to you. So anyway, moving on down here. God keeps records to be fair, all right? To be fair. He keeps records so that he can get it right. Lord forbid. It's not going to be a situation in heaven where you want a second trial. There ain't no second trials in heaven. There ain't no appeals, and there ain't no fancy lawyers that's going to come up and plead your case. It's going to be you and God. Nobody different. I was explaining to you right now something that Christians do, and I lost my train of thought. Christians seem to think that as long as you're saved, as long as you ask God into your life, nothing else will be talked about. You could not be so wrong, okay? I'm going to talk to you about that, because there's different books, and there's 2 different judgments. There's the judgment, I'm getting ahead of myself, but there's a judgment, I'm going to talk to you about it again. But there's a judgment for the sinners where every angel, everything God ever created will be at that great white throne judgment. Everybody will be there. Everyone will be there. Every fallen angel will be judged. Every man or woman that has not accepted Christ into their life and rejected the ministry road, okay? They're gonna be judged. And then there is the Bema, which is a judgment, which is a meeting in heaven after the rapture takes place, where every Christian, God's gonna talk about your life, even though you made it to heaven and you will be in eternity with him. But he's still going to talk about something to you about your actions as a Christian, what you've done good, what you've done bad. We're going to talk about that. I'm getting ahead of myself, but just wanted to throw that at you, okay? Christians make the mistake of thinking that, don't worry about it. I'm forgiven of my sins. I ain't worried about it. Nope. The way you live is to be reckoned with God. He don't let anything go. All right, so here we go here. No one's going to go to heaven or hell unfairly. Let me move on. You will be your own prosecuting witness about your life. It's all up here, brother. It's all up here. And you're going to provide the evidence. Christians or sinners alike, Christians and sinners alike will have a judgment of some sort, okay? And I just talked to you about that. Told you I was getting ahead of myself. All right, here are the books in heaven. I know I got you on pins and needles right now. Oh my goodness. What's the title of those books? The first book about you is The Bad People. Nah, I'm just messing with you right now. That's not the title of the book, okay? But there's 5 books. There's the book of the living, the book of life, the book of tears, the book of remembrance, and the book of your life. Of your life. Everything. 5 books. Oh, come on, Mr. C. I'm going to prove it to you. Don't worry about it. I know you want evidence. I ain't worried about that. I got the proof. Put the lie detector on me if you want to, okay? All right. Christians think that if they get to heaven, that's all is forgiven, forgotten, and there's no consequence. I already told you that, all right? You cannot be any more wrong about that. Let's talk about the book of the living, okay? The book of the living. Y'all still with me so far right here? I like that, Brother Gene. There's always consequences. That is correct. Even King David, David said he was a man of God called a friend of God. And he did a very bad thing. He went and he lusted over a woman that was on the balcony next door. It was his friends. Y'all know the story of David. And he repented, but yet David lived by the sword because of what he did. There was consequences. Always consequences, okay? There's forgiveness. There's a road that God's going to help you on, but there's always consequences. So don't think, well, I can do wrong, but I'll just ask God to forgive me. Yeah, that's okay, but there's consequences. All right, let's go. The book of the living. Book number one, the book of the living. Jewish rabbis called it the book of destiny, is what they did. And that details your birth, your existence, and the knowledge of your end. Where that at, Mr. C? In Psalms chapter 69, verse 28. You might want to write some of these down. Psalms chapter 69, verse 28. When I first start reading the Bible, I call it the book of poems. The book of Psalms 69, 28. He says, let them be blotted out of the book of the living, and not be written with the righteous, okay? I won't explain all the context of why he was saying that at that point, but the point is he describes something called the book of the living. All right, here's what that, and I'm going to go down and I'm going to read something else. Psalms chapter 139, verse 16. Psalms 139, verse number 16. He says, thine eyes did see my substance, yet being unperfect, and in thy book all my members were written. Everything about me was written, which in continuance were fashioned, when as yet there was none of them. I kind of messed up the reading on that, okay, but let me just explain to you. The book of the living signifies that you were created. Got that? You were created, all right? What that means is when you were created, God wrote you down and said, whoop, we got another one off the manufacturing line right here, okay, off the assembly line. Okay, Mr. C has been created, all right? He's in his mother's womb. He has been created. Write his name down. He's gonna have silver hair later on in his life. He's gonna have like hazel green eyes. He's gonna have this, that, and the other. He's gonna be 5'9", and when he's 65 years old, he's gonna weigh 200 pounds. All right, we got him. That is your ID card. That's right. When you go to the book of the living, it's gonna show who you are. You was created by God. Comprende? You got that one? The book of the living. Don't ever think that it doesn't make a difference. It is recorded. All right, let me move on. All right, that is your mugshot and your description, okay? It is your driver's license of life. It's your eternal ID. All right, y'all follow me on that so far? Give me some thumbs up, man. Come on, I like this stuff, man. I like this kind of detailed stuff. Book of the living. Your name's in the book of the living. Don't worry, you are in that book of the living because you were born, all right? That, God knew about your name even before you were born in that book. All right, there we go. All right, y'all with me so far? Let's talk about the next book. This is the book that people like to refer to all the time. And that's book number 2, and that's the book of life. The book of life, all right? The book is your reservation registry into heaven. That's right. Look, heaven isn't first come, first serve, okay? Oh, I got there first, because I'd be leaving right now to try and get in line. I can tell you that right now. It's not a first come, first serve. You have got to have reservations to get into heaven. The book of life. Everybody talks about that book of life. Your name better wind up in that book of life, okay? Philippians chapter 4, verse 3. Philippians 4, verse 3. And I entreat thee also, true yoke fellow. That's just kind of a fancy word for brother, sister. So I entreat thee also, my true sister or brother in the Lord, help those women which labored with me in the gospel, with Clement also, and with other of my fellow laborers, whose names are written or in the book of life. The book of life. Revelation chapter 3, verse number 5. Okay, here we go again. Gotta prove all this stuff to you, man. Oh, boy. Revelation chapter 3, verse 5. He that overcometh, the same shall be clothed in white raiment, and I will not blot out his name out of the book of life, but I will confess his name before my Father and before his angels. One more verse, okay, then I'll talk to you about it, about the book of life. Luke chapter 10, verse 20. Luke 10:20. Notwithstanding in this, rejoice not. Notwithstanding in this, rejoice not that the spirits are subject unto you, but rather rejoice because your names are written in heaven, in the book of life. All right. I might not get a chance to explain this to you later on, so let me do it a little bit right now. They would, in the ancient times, they would call a meeting once a year. And they would have times of atonement and so forth. But bottom line is this. When it uses the term blot your name out, take your name out, scratch through it, that meant that what you did that year in your life, in your character, in your actions, may call for somebody to say, guess what? We want him out of this club, okay? He ain't or she's not acting right, and they kick you out. They blot your name out, they scribe through it, they erase it, it's gone, okay? So what the Bible says right here is what you don't want in order for you to get to heaven. So the book of life is your registry. That is the reservation. You called ahead, Jesus came into your life, you gave your life to him, you made a commitment to God. Book number 2 is the book of life. My name is in that book of life. God makes it real simple. Hey, man, you're knocking at the door. Does he get in? Does he get in? Hold on right here. Hold on right here. Melanie. He-mail, right? He-mail. Ooh, we got a lot of he-mails, man. He-mail, Melanie. Who's Melanie He-mail? All right, hey, listen, we need to go to that first book right now. Who was Melanie He-mail? I'm just being funny right here. Melanie He-mail, look in the book of living and see where she's at in the book of the living so I can make sure we got the right person. Yep, sure enough, yep. Yeah, I'm gonna have a little fun with you, Melanie. But long black hair, real pretty eyes and everything. Good looking lady. Yep, that's her. See, that treated you right, Melanie, for ragging on you, okay? Yeah, that's Melanie. Okay, we got the right one. Okay, now look and see if that's her that's written in the book of life. Let me see. Oh, sure enough here. It was put down on such and such a date. And hey, by the way, that happened to be the same date that we called Mr. C to the Lord, and he started that ministry road thing. She must have listened to him, got saved. I just had to throw that in there real quick, okay? Oh, yes, indeed, man. The book of life. You got to have your name written in the book of life, and you don't want it taken out, okay? Some people say, that's another sermon, but you don't want your name taken out the book of life, okay? You want it in the book of life. And isn't it amazing how we can go back to another book And if you was ever created, of course you was, you're in that book. He can identify you. Now that sounds kind of lame. Let me tell you what right now. You will be surprised. All the things in this life that parallel heaven. So many things parallel. He created us in our own image, our judgment system, our right and system of right and wrong. There's trees in heaven, trees on earth, rivers in heaven, rivers on earth. Everything in heaven has an original. We just copy everything. That's another sermon, and it's a good one. All right, book number 3, the book of tears. God don't care about me, man. I don't know why nobody even knows. Oh, you get on Facebook, I don't understand, man. I wish somebody would just please would know that I'm hurting too. Hey, listen, I hear you, man. I hear you. God does care. There is a book of tears. Only one reference in all of the Bible about the book of tears, but it doesn't need 15 or 20 of them. It only needs one reference, and that's in Psalms chapter 56, verse 8. It says, that book keeps the record of all your sorrows and all of the, and I'll say it this way because you know it, all the bull, okay, that you've had to put up in this hard life. God knows your sorrow. God knows about your tears. Psalms chapter 56, verse 8. Come on, move on, Mr. C. Thou telleth my wanderings. Put thou my tears in thy bottle, as they are they not in thy book, in the book of tears, okay? Let me tell you about, and Luke chapter 12, verse 7. God knows every detail. God knows everything. I added this scripture. Luke chapter 12, verse 7. God knows everything about you. He says, but even the very hairs of your head are all numbered. Fear not, therefore, they are of more value than the sparrows. But Psalms chapter 56, verse 8 talks about a book of tears. Let me tell you what they used to do back in the Old Testament, okay? The olden days, you know, when Mr. C was born. When somebody was sorrow and they was lamenting, okay, they was sorry somebody died, something happened to them, they would take a little vial, okay, and they would collect their tears in it. They would cry, and they would collect their tears in it, and they would cap up their tears, symbolic of the time that they cried over what you did your mama, okay? All right? All of your sorrows, God is saying, I know about your sorrows. I will go to that book right there, and I will see all the sorrows that you went through, and I'm going to see what sorrows that you went for my name's sake, and I am going to compensate for you many, many, many times over. If you cried, if you said, oh my God, why did I lose that child? And that's sad. Why did this happen to me? Or why did I lost my job because I was telling someone about Jesus, you know? And all the things that you went through, particularly for the cause of Christ. And you know, not much is done to us these days because of our religion and our faith. Not really. Not really. It's not like in the disciples' days where you'd get beheaded for it. Everything that you lost for the cause of Christ, everything that caused you problems because of your walk with Christ, God says that I am going to repay you many, many, many times over. So he collects those tears. He goes to that book and says, oh my goodness, look at this. Look on this day right here that Miss Shirley Raines was when she lost her child. When she lost her son Wayne. That poor woman cried so many tears over that. Oh my goodness. Mr. C did the eulogy. It was a sad day. But you know what? I'm going to reward her for not getting mad at me over that. I'm going to reward Miss Shirley for not getting all upset with me and still serving me to her very older days. Tears hurt. My goodness, there's a gallon of tears over that alone right there. I got them, Miss Shirley. I got them tears. I got every drop you ever cried over that. For every birthday that came around and you cried over it. I collected those tears, Miss Shirley. That's right. I collected those tears. And I could just go on about all of your personal lives that I know that you cried over. The Book of Tears. That's book number 3. Okay, come on, move on, Mr. C. That was book number 3. And I wanted to put in there as well, it doesn't talk about the Book of Tears, but in Luke chapter 12, verse 7, it says that even he numbers the hair on your head, and he even knows when the sparrow falls to the ground. All right, so that's book number 3, okay? Now we got another book right now. This is a very mysterious book right here. The Book of Remembrance. The Book of Remembrance, okay? Here we go, right here, the Book of Remembrance. I'm looking at my time. I got to move on here, Mr. C. All right. All right, hold on just a second. Take me a little sip of my coffee. All right. Okay. All right, here we go. All right. Book number 4, the Book of Remembrance. I told you there was 5 books. The Book of Remembrance is the book we need to talk about. This is a mysterious book. All the recordings of the deeds, good and bad, of the believers is recorded in the Book of Remembrance. Malachi chapter 3. Malachi chapter 3, verse 16 and 17. I feel like I'm on bingo right now. Okay, everybody got Malachi 3:17. Somebody hollers, bingo. I was preaching one time and I did that and some old lady said, bingo. All right, come on now. It says, then they that feared the Lord spoke often one to the other, and the Lord hearkened and heard it, and a book of remembrance was written before him for them that feared the Lord and that thought upon his name. A book of remembrance. And they shall be mine, saith the Lord of hosts, in that day when I make up my jewels, and I will spare them as a man spareth his own son that serveth him. This book is a resume for your rewards and riches in heaven, as if you was applying for a job in heaven. And that's exactly what you're doing. I could have called this here sermon right here, the business of heaven. Heaven's business. The business side of heaven. This is your resume right now. Everything that you've done, all your good, all your bad. I've served. Mr. C's got a real big gap in his resume. I was serving for God. I see you served the Lord up until such and such a date, Mr. C. Then all of a sudden, your name was even taken. Let me go. Y'all bring that book of life right here real quick, okay? Bring the book of life. Let me see something. Oh, my goodness. In 1985, oh, Mr. C, your name was taken out of the book. What happened? Oh, hold on here. That's when he got all mad at me and walked away from the ministry for 40 years. 40 years. Let me see. Hold on here, because your name is in the book of life. Now, what about the book of remembrance? Let's see what... Okay, after he got saved right here we go. He started the ministry road in such and such a time, right? 2019. Okay, we on track right here. Okay, good thing, Mr. C. Go back right here and 26. Look in the book of life right now. Oh, yeah, right here, his name. They put his name. I can see where it was scratched out, but they put his name back in. So he's good. He's in heaven. But now we're going to talk about the good and bad that he did in his Christian life. How much of a reward is Mr. C going to get? Is he going to rule over West Wego, or is he going to rule over New York City? Huh? What's he going to do in the millennial reign? What kind of rank can we give Mr. C? What is he going to be doing for the rest of his life in eternity in his rulership? Because God rewards us based on what's in this book right here, the book of remembrance. He's going to reward us according to what we have done, good or bad. There's another sermon I could get into right now. I could preach a long time on this. And I'll be talking about that starting this Wednesday, okay? I'm going to be talking about the bema judgment of God when Christians stand before the throne. I'm going to take you beyond Christianity 101, and we're going to fine-tune our Christian walk so that we can just bust old Satan right in the nose, okay? Yes, indeed. That's what we're going to do. So that's another sermon. It's a good one. It's going to be starting Wednesday night on Wednesdays, but let me get back to this book right here. What I'm trying to tell you about this book is every Christians, listen, please listen right here. This is the book that concerns you an awful lot. More is going to be written in this book than anything about you, okay? You can't just get saved and say, well, I'm going to make it in, I'm all right. Your eternity and what you receive, your value in heaven, your status in heaven is going to be based on what you did with your Christian walk. Did you tithe a tenth of your income to God, to the Lord? Did you help those that was needy on the side road? Did you win anybody to the Lord? Did you do anything and win anybody to the Lord? What did you do? Okay, you did those things, but oh my goodness, oh gosh. Oh man, Mr. C, he put money in the collection plate Sunday, and he got, I'm being a little funny here, but that gave him 100 basis points. Oh, yes indeed. Got 100 points here. Oh, but look at him, man. On Monday, he gets mad, and this person cuts him off. I didn't do this now, okay? But this guy cuts him off, and he flips him off and calls him a whole bunch of names and everything, and didn't act anything like me. So guess what? That's going to cost him 15 basis points. He's down 5. Some of us are going to walk out of that meeting broke as anything, man. All right? We're going to be broke. Yes, indeed. You know, I'm cutting up a lot, but everything I'm telling you right now is on key. So be concerned about that. Every bad word and deed, or everything uttered in this life is recorded in that book. That's book number 4. You will become the Rain Man, uttering out every moment of your life before God. And you're going to tell your brain, shut up, shut up, shut up. Can't erase that record. We cannot pull a Hillary Clinton on God, okay? Getting a little political here, but that's all right, okay? All right, you are in heaven and your sins are forgiven, but everything will be brought up before God. Now, please don't confuse this, okay? All of your sins are forgiven and they'll never be brought up again. Someone's going to say out there that reads the Bible a lot, and you're going to say, hold on, Mr. C, you're wrong. No, I'm not wrong. Well, I'm talking about two different things right here. I'm talking about the judgment seat of Christ, that way we'll be there judging the angels and everything. It's another sermon. It's a good one. But what I'm trying to tell you right now is when you get before God, even though you're saved, the thing, you're still in heaven. You didn't do anything to get you out of heaven, get your name out of that book, the book of life. But he is going to talk about that is your resume as to what is going to be rewarded unto you. Okay? Just so that you don't confuse what I'm saying. God's not going to be bringing up your sin. God's not going to be talking about those things in life that you did that would take your name out of the Lamb's book of life. Okay? Got it? You got it, miss? You got it? Okay. Just want to explain myself. Okay, but every benevolent deed and work that you get, you'll get credit for, and so forth. All right. I'm going to tell you another little quick story. I got to wind this down to the last book right here. I'm at 43 minutes on this sermon right now. All right. You guys still with me? You all right? Listen to this, Miss Melanie. Miss Melanie, I once in a while I look at y'all comments and I can take a little breather right here. Melanie says, I help people on my job every day. I know you do, Miss Melanie. You doing good? You're doing good. Yes, indeed. All right. Okay, hold on just a second. Y'all still with Mr. C? All right. I didn't say anything to offend nobody yet. Well, if I didn't, what did I do here? Oh, my goodness, my computer just now. Hold on just a second. I don't know what happened. I gotta here we go. I must have got the devil mad about something. I don't know. Anyway, hey, look. All right, let me see right here. All right, here we go. All right, I'm back in line. All right, where was I at right here? Okay, I didn't say anything to get y'all mad. Well, that means I'm not preaching good enough, okay? All right, let's move on a little further. There's a story about Cornelius in Acts chapter 10, verse 1 through 4. There was a certain man in Caesarea called Cornelius. He was a centurion of the band called the Italian Band. I guess they played music, the Italian Band. I'm just playing around here. He was a devout man and one that feared God with all of his house, and he gave much alms to the people and prayed to God always. You got that? That was the book of remembrance. It's talking about his life being recorded in the book of remembrance, okay? He saw in a vision, evidently about the 9th hour of the day, an angel of God coming into him and saying unto him, Cornelius. And when he looked on him, he was afraid, and he said, What is it, Lord? And he said unto him, Thy prayers and thine alms are come up for a memorial before God. In other words, we're writing it down in the book of remembrance, okay? Special note right here, okay? During the tribulation period, if your name is in this book right here, the book of remembrance, it says that he will spare you that were obedient and faithful. He will spare you on that day for that, those that was born after during the millennial reign, because everybody does have to be judged. You have to be judged, okay? So that's another sermon. It's a good one. The last book, the fifth book, the fifth book is a series of books. It categorizes the works and deeds of all the people that were ever on the earth. Everybody. We're not talking about just the Christians. We're talking about everybody. Your mom and all of them, okay? Revelation chapter 20, verse 12. Come on, Mr. C, move on. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before God. The books. This is a series of books here now, okay? The books was open. And another book was opened, which is the book of life, and the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books according to their works. According to their works. Now, don't confuse getting to heaven by your works. That's not what he's talking about, okay? Hebrews 12, verses 12, 20, chapter 12, 23. Hebrews 12, 23. To the general assembly and church of the firstborn which are written in heaven, and to God the judge of all, and to the spirits of just men made perfect, okay? The word written is apocryphro. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. The word is apocryphro, and it means that you are that your life has been recorded, and it now becomes legal. It becomes legal. It's a legal thing now, okay? You're a Christian. It's a legal thing now. You are a Christian. You're a Christian. All right? So just note, your registry in heaven is based upon the blood covenant in heaven. I'm going to read to you 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 14 and 15. I'm almost closing now, I promise you. 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 14 and 15. 2 Timothy 4, 14 and 15. Alexander the coppersmith did me much evil. The Lord reward him according to his works. He did me much evil. The Lord reward him according to his works. Of whom be thou ware also, for he hath greatly withstood our words. Just a little reference right here in 2 Timothy that I'm throwing at you right now, that Alexander the coppersmith, he's saying, hey, listen, you reward him. He did evil unto me. You take care of it, okay, God? And he will. All right. I'm just going to throw at you right now. I promise you, I'm coming to a closing, all right? 5 books in heaven that I just described to you. Let me go to the front of my notes real quick here. 5 books in heaven. I hope you understand them. The book of the living, the book of life, the book of tears, the book of remembrance, and then the series of books about your life. I gave you the story about the Rain Man so that you will understand, as you can conceive it, that everything in your life gets recorded. Everything. What gets erased is those sins that keeps you out of heaven, That will never be brought up again. He says, I will cast your sins as far as the east is to the west, and I will not bring them up to remembrance no more. Those sins will not be in any of those books, okay? Don't worry about that. But you need to be concerned about, as a Christian, about what you do, how you act, how you treat people. Do you give to God? Are you selfish, or do you give? Do you help those? That's what Jesus says, if you know me, you know me by that poor person that you helped or did not help. because that's who I was. So anyway, I'll get into another sermon if I don't shut it down right here, okay? All right. So anyway, I'm looking at Melanie's stuff. Melanie, you're a mess. Anyway, so in closing, the sparrow falls to the ground. God knows about the sparrow. He says, I even know about the sparrow that falls to the ground. How much more do I know about you? Jesus said, I will never leave you or forsake you. He knows everything about us. I hope I proved that to you right now. The book's in heaven. Hey, listen, this is Mr. C. Let me go ahead and shut this part of it down right now. We're going to get to our prayer requests. And I got to tell you right now that if you have joined us right now on the ministry road, if you've joined me on the YouTube channel, please do me a favor right now and make a comment and say something about this, okay? Say a good comment, share it with somebody. Please subscribe and get somebody else to subscribe to our channel if you don't mind. I appreciate it, all right? This sermon was sermon number 360, The Book's in Heaven. God's got your number. Yes, he does. Yes, indeed. All right.